Okay, this is going to be a quick instruction video on how to use Excel. Excel has become one of my favorite forms to use because it does so much. So just to start off with, when you open Excel, you'll click on New Workbook, and this is what you're going to get. So what you might want to do to start off with is go File, Save As, and name it whatever you want to name it. Let me just put it in the area guide. Waiting for it to get there, and then I'll call it test sheet. And I'm going to save it in my area guide area, and I'm going to say save. Alright, so this way now you have a name at the top that tells you what this workbook is going to be for. So just for instance, let's say we have, let's do the months. Let's skip over and do January, February, and March. And I'm not going to keep going crazy, so I'm going to put in income. Let's do how would money come in. Let's say dues. Let's say winter carnival. And let's say area guide. All right, so now, okay, so you can see how Winter Carnival goes over. So if you want to widen up these places, you can just go, once you get, if you're in here, you can't go here to move it necessarily while you're typing. So I usually pop out anywhere, and then I go to this line between the A and the B, and I drag it out to wherever I want it. Now, if I had, say, I'm going to put this emails, okay? So email addresses. So if I have director@mainlakeschamber.com, I can make it kind of wide. See, it won't do it right now. So I have to get off of there. I can now move it out. Now, say I only want to go to, well, that's really not a good one to use. But anyway, all right, so emails. And then let's go here and say for an address. And let's go down. Just by arrowing, I'm going down. I'm going to put 101 Portland Road. All right, so again, see how that's like that? Now, maybe we don't want the addresses to go any further than that. So you click in this spot, and you go up to here, where it's on the Home tab. You go to Wrap Text, and it will do that for you. Okay, so it will actually make this a little wider, but it fits it all within that spot. For your titles, if you can highlight them all, and I can change the font that I want them to be. So if I go, let's see, let's do Dolby Carlson bold. I could bold it here. I can italicize them. I can then also center them. So if I go like that, if I want to keep this top row, so it's definitely different than the rest of the area, I can highlight that, and I can fill it with a color. So I'm going to say, okay, well, let me put in like the orange color. Now, you'll notice that you can't see too many lines in here. So if I want to come down and select like all this area, see this little box right here? I would go down to all borders. Okay, so that gives me all my lines. And if I want this to kind of stand out up here, I can go to this area here again. I can put a thick box border on the outside. I can put a thick bottom border. So why don't I do that one? Okay, so you can see the difference right there. And now I'm going to show you how, like, if I take and I put in money. Okay, so January in dues, we took in 2,000. February, we took in 1,000. And March, we took in 500. All right, now I might want to have something over here that I put totals. All right, so again, I'm going to do this and go to all borders. It gives me all my lines, and then I'm going to click on just where it says totals and do thick bottom one. And because I had already slid across, it also centered it too. So I'm going to, if I want to add up these things and give me a total right here, I'm going to highlight those three and go all the way across. Your emails and your address in here is going to be kind of messed up, so your totals really might want to be over here. So let's do that first. I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to select this whole row, and I'm going to say copy. And then before where I want it is I'm going to select here and go insert copied cells. Let's see. Okay, so that line is now there, and the email's moved over, the address moved over. So I can then click here and delete that. All right, so we get totals. So if we want to see what these all add up to, I highlight, hold on my mouse and highlight all the way across, and then I hit auto sum. And this again is still in the home tab. So I'll hit auto sum. Now Winter Carnival, I can add 50 tab 100. And so if I want to get the total of them, I can come across and highlight them all and then say auto sum, and that's where it's going to go. Now if I want to see what my total is at the end of the year, I'm going to go from the bottom where I want the figure to be and slide all the way up just to get the money, not the words at the top, and hit auto sum. So that adds up right down to there. Now if I also have expenses, let's see, area guide, let's see. Let's do minus 500, tab minus 150, and then we'll tab and say 300. All right, so let's see how this does. And then I'm going to show you something else too. So we slide across, do auto sum, and it shows us that we are minus 350. So what that did was that did change the amount down here also when I did that. The other thing you could do is if you have another column, say you have a column over here that says expenses, and you write that down, so you can actually take, let's just add in some stuff. All right, so expenses, I'm not going to get into changing all that around yet. Let's just put expenses are 200, and I'm going to hit enter. 200, 100, enter, and 100. Tab. All right, so now I want to add up all my expenses. And so I can do auto sum. So that's the expenses. So if I want, at that point, I can put over here total profit. All right, and so I'm going to want to have it right here. So to put in any kind of formula, generally what you do is you hit the equal button at the top. It's usually next to your backspace button. So I'm going to hit equal. And then I'm going to take the figure from here. So I'm going to say, you can't see my finger point to it. I'm going to say from totals of E13. So I'm going to say E13. Then I'm going to hit the minus. And then I'm going to say H13. H13. Then I hit enter. And that gives me the amount here. Now, if I want this all to show up as money, I'm going to come to the top of the B, right-click, and go to Format Cells. And I'm going to currency, and I'm going to say OK. Sometimes it doesn't come up as currency, so you have to go back and do it one more time. It just depends on your computer and your software, and sometimes it changes. So you just have to learn how to play with your machine. Currency, say OK. Format cells, currency, OK. And let's do right here. Format cells, currency, OK. I guess right here. Format cells, currency, OK. All right. Now, as you're doing stuff like this, make sure you click up here, and that's save. All right, so it has just saved this. The other thing up here is an undo. If you do something, you can undo the last action. If you want to insert something in, you can insert a table, pictures, all kinds of other stuff. You can insert a, maybe that's on the home one. All right, so let's just do this for now. Now see, you have dues, Winter Carnival, and the area guide. Now say you have a list of a bunch of business names. And then you have all their information across from them, but you want to put them in alphabetical order. So what you do is you right click on the A, get that line all highlighted. I'm not sure if this is going to affect your total profit, so we'll go from there. And let's do sort A to Z. And you're going to say sort A to Z, and that usually comes up, expand the selection, you say yes. So sort. Okay, so it did include total profit, so let's undo that. All right, so that's something that you could do before you add in your total profit. And this one didn't click as far as formatting cells, so currency. Okay, so that's one of those ones that didn't work. Format cells, currency. All right, and then this one is not showing as money either. Currency. Okay, all right, so everything now is currency, so I'm going to save it again. Now, so you know how to put things in, you know how to widen those, you know how to wrap your text if it's going too far, you know how to make numbers into currency. Now, if you should put in someone's address and you put in a number here, let's put it here. 04009. All right, see how you lost it and it's not really zip code? You could actually do the whole row if it's all going to be zip codes, all right? Or you can click here, right click, format your cells, and then you have to go into special because zip code is not listed here. So it's under special, it says zip code, and you can say okay. Now it's back to being a true zip code. So that is a lot of how to work with Excel. Sometimes what I will do is if I wanted to say, oh, these are minuses on it, you know, in those 2 months they were minus, I might want to right click, then you can do your fill color, you can highlight them in yellow or red or whatever, so you can see those were minus ones and the rest were all plus, but these are your totals. And you might want to highlight this, that this is your total profit. You could bring it all the way across that way. If you want to remove it, you just highlight it again, right click, and then arrow down from here, and it says no fill. Okay, so that's how you add a fill, you take off a fill. You can change your font, you can outline them really well. Let's see, let's just do here, we'll go all borders, and then I'll click here again, and I'm going to go down to the thick bottom border. Okay, so there is a place where you can add a header. It's different on most places, so let's see. Insert, delete, format. So here's your auto sum again, and your sort. So you can sort things by alphabetical order. Wrap text. This is where you can have your print show up within the box that's there. And let's go. Okay, so let's go to page layout next, real quickly. Page layout, orientation. This should probably be in a landscape. All right, and then I want to go to margins. I always go narrow because I want to see as much information in here as possible. And then if I want to print this, I'm going to put my cursor down here and bring it all the way over, all the way to the top. Excuse me, and do print area, set print area. And then you can see if I go file print, it's going to show you how it's all set up there. So I'm going to go back. And then from here, if I wanted to expand it out, I could actually go like this. If I click one at a time, it's increasing the size of it. So keep on going because I want to show you. Okay, so now you see these dotted lines. That means that's going to print on another page. So you want to bring it back just enough so that all of that is included in there. So you go File, Print Now, and you can see how it's wider. It fills up the whole paper. Go back again. So that's something there. Let's see. Formulas. These are some, I mean, I do what I showed you. There are all kinds of even more things that you could do, which I'm sure some people know really well. But what I know gets me through and gets me done what I need to be done. But there's all kinds of stuff. Data, review, I'll show you one thing. View. Say, as I scroll down, see how I lost my top row? Scroll back up. If I say freeze panes, I can freeze the top row. So now when I scroll down, they stay there. I'm going to show you 2 more things, and then this is going to be done. This is a long video, sorry. Okay, if I right click here, I can add and insert a comment on that box, and it says my name, and I can say, this was due to someone backing out. Okay, so someone backed out of our program. So when I want to see what that is, if I click there in that box, it shows me the comment. All right, so that's kind of cool. I just recently learned that. Now, if I wanted to hide March, this is something I've done. I've hidden them, but I forget every time. I forget how to unhide them. So I'm going to arrow down, and I'm going to say hide. All right, now this actually shows a line. So if I click on that, I can do unhide. Maybe. I did it a different way the other day. I had to Google it. All right, I guess I'll have to Google it again. So anyway, this will get you through most things. It's going to show you how to add things up or subtract things out. If you want to add this column to that column to that column, all you do is do that program. That formula that I showed you. Hit equal, then you say C7, then you hit the plus sign, so you have to hold your shift down and get your plus sign. D4, plus sign, so hold your shift down, hit the plus sign, and then F6 minus, which is the button next to it, and then hit your enter key. That gives you your final thing. It will do all those actions all together. So I hope this helps, and we'll see you on the next one. Now we just have to know how to shut this off.